Hello everyone and welcome back to TALL, also known as Teach As We Learn. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make equations from parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's begin. So before we just jump in making these equations, we should actually understand what parallel and perpendicular lines are. So a parallel line basically never intersects. So we have these two lines, and they will never ever intersect no matter how far they go. So even if it suppose goes even further, like this, they will never ever intersect. You can sort of think that these are like train paths, which will never ever meet no matter what, right? So parallel lines never intersect, okay? Then we have perpendicular lines, and perpendicular lines will intersect. So it could look like this. They basically cross some paths that might look like that. You know, they're crossing, and that's the point where they are. It might look like this. But basically, they cross. So perpendicular lines do intersect, in fact. And that is basically the difference between perpendicular lines and parallel lines. So now that we actually have differentiated between the difference between parallel lines and perpendicular lines, we're going to see about how we can make equations out of them. So let's begin with parallel lines first. So you need to keep in mind that parallel lines have a same slope. As you know, they are parallel to each other, meaning that they would have the same slope. They would never intersect. But what I mean that they have the same slope in an equation, so suppose you're given an equation that y equals 4x plus 1. Let's make this negative 4x plus 1. And your point which is given is negative 2, 7. Okay, so we're given this, and basically we already have the first equation, negative 4x plus 1, but we want to find the parallel equation to this equation. So what I'll take is take my point and put it in point slope, right? So y minus 7 equals, so this is where I mean that they have the same slope. We would literally take the slope from here, which is negative 4x, and insert it over here. So negative 4x plus 2. So that would be your equation, and then you just solve it like you would solve it with point slope. So that would be y minus 7 equals negative 4x minus 8 plus 7 plus 7. And you would get y equals negative 4x minus 1. It doesn't have to be always minus 1, like opposite of the operation plus 1 minus 1. It could have been plus 2, plus 3. Y-intercept is always could be different. But the slope, you just need to know that parallel equations have the same slope. So it's pretty much like point slope, but we're just saying that, hey, just make sure that you use the slope from here for parallel. Then we have perpendicular lines. And perpendicular lines, they're the lines which intersect. So with perpendicular lines, our slope is flipped. Or we may call it reciprocal. So meaning, let's write an example. We have y equals 2x minus 4, and our point is 4, 3. Then we would flip the slope. So we would turn it from a over b to negative b over a. So we would take it to 2, right? Our original slope, our A, which could also be written 2 over 1. And we'd flip it, which would make it 1 over half, and add our negative sign, which is negative 1 half. So once you have that slope flipped to negative 1 half, then you just do point slope form. So that would be y minus 3 equals negative 1 half x minus 4. And when we would solve it, we would get y minus 3, and then negative 1 half over x. And then 1 half times negative 1 half times minus 4 would give us plus 2. And then we would move the 3 to the 2. I made this whole video about this. If you want to go, it's down in the description below. And we would get y equals negative 1 half x, 2 plus 3 plus 5. And this is our perpendicular equation. And the difference here between parallel and perpendicular is that in parallel, your slope is the same. So we had negative 4 here, we have negative 4 here. But here in perpendicular, our slope was 2 half, but here we flipped it, so our slope becomes negative 1 half. So just keep this in mind, and you should be good to go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and see you all next time. Bye!